Robbie, right? Hey, sign in for me. Welcome. So I'm kind of like the big sister around here. You guys know that I lost my son too. It's been 15 years. I just celebrated 15 years of my son's death on Memorial Day. Y'all know these groups are important because we need these groups to be able to cope with our loss, because you're gonna need some form of support with each other. Community of Survivors is a bunch of families who have lost a loved one in a violent way.
I lost my son to gun violence.
And we come together as one.
If a person haven't been through it, they can't pat you on the shoulder and say it's gonna be all right. And I went somewhere 3 days, didn't know where I was, and looked in the mirror and I didn't see me. I was lost, man. I was lost. And
our families don't get the support that they really, really need from loved ones, friends, because everybody dissipates. They disappear after a month or two. The phone calls stop. And then that's when the real deal happens. Angela, I want you to tell us a little bit about how you got here and why you're really here.
You know, I lost two. I lost one September 4th, 2015, and turns around and lose another one. I don't wish this on nobody. And the way that it is out here, it's hard. I don't wish our parent have to suffer. And when I say I suffer a lot. It was just so hard on me, and I just miss my kids. I would never thought that I would have to be burying two kids in 2 years apart. It's hard.
Thank you. That took a lot to say all of that. And we usually do that in the first group, but because you're new in our group, we want you to feel loved, we want you to feel welcome, and we also want you to know that we care and we're here for you.
Let me know in the comments, what's the hardest thing you've ever went through?
And it's tough. She said it is tough. Back to back.
My name is Tiffany. My son was killed January the 16th, 2017 on the porch at home. He was my only child. I cry every day. I can't look at his Facebook page. I can't look at his pictures half of the time. I can't look at his clothes. I can't go in his room. It's very hard. So I came to this group today, thanks to Naomi, to try and get, try and learn how to cope with it more better. Because it's hard. It's very hard. And without my parents, I probably wouldn't be here today.
It's sad. It's sad. I keep hearing people saying, this killing gotta stop. This killing, when is it gonna stop? What do we have to do to make it stop? What do we have to do to make these guns stop being picked up?
The only way something is gonna be done is if somebody stands up. Somebody steps up and says something. Nothing will be done if everybody sits on their hands and don't do anything. We need more people to step up and say, hey, you know what, this is our community. This violence is happening. We don't want it no more in our community.
We want you to feel safe. We want you to feel loved unconditionally. Sometimes love has to come unconditionally. And there's so much love to give, so I want to give everybody a hug and thank you for coming. And don't leave yet. Doing this work is what keeps me going, helping others like myself. Dealing with homicide families, which is, you gotta be tough to do this work. I have sucked up so much pain, hurt from other families. It's just a constant reminder that people need people. We need people so that we can begin the healing process. So when I share these tears, I share tears because I miss my son. I love my son very much. I can't bring him back, but I wish he was here. My story goes way, way, way back. First time having sex, I got pregnant. At 15, with my firstborn son. I was pregnant my first year of high school. After that, I ended up dropping out of high school. My mother helped me raise my children. Andy was smart. He loved to play with cars. Of course, he liked to go to the park. I would take him to the park when I had a chance. He might have been 6 or 7, and he had his missing tooth. He was like, Mom, my tooth is falling out. Look. I said, well, let me pull it out. He's like, no, I'm going to do it. And he was just smiling, and his tooth was out of his mouth. That was just one of those memories that, I can never forget that. And he was a good kid. He was not in gangs. I mean, he knew friends who made bad choices, but he was just a vibrant, full of energy kid. The guy that took his life. Even though he came to my home with Andy, I never saw any signs of, anything bad or a bad vibe or a bad feeling. But I never questioned his relationship with this boy, and I think I should have. Andy was standing on a corner. It's a school in that corner. His friends are on the porch. There was a car coming, an unknown car with males in it, and his friend didn't tell my son that he was going to shoot. And he shot my son instead of the car. I don't think he meant to shoot my son, but then again, I had those thoughts that he did it on purpose. So they waited for the ambulance to come. They took him to Stroger Hospital. I got the phone call. They didn't want to tell me how serious it was. My son was still alive when I got there, bandaged up. He shot him in the most important part of his brain that kind of keeps us together as functioning. The boy was there. I didn't know he shot my son. He was scared. He didn't know if my son was going to live or die. I didn't know who knew from the family that the shooter was there with us, amongst us. And we waited, and he bled too much and passed away. I didn't expect him not to survive. And when he passed away, that was the worst day of my life. You don't expect to bury your child. I didn't know, what to do. Just hug and cry and hug. And the detectives came over and said, his friend did it. I was just in shock when I found out who it was. I wanted his parents to feel the same thing. I was so full of anger, hatred. I wanted somebody to do to him what he did to my son.
Y'all make sure y'all go back there to those resource tables. Got a lot of information that they get out to the community. So go over there and check them out.
I started volunteering with a friend of mine. She asked me to come out. Let's do this march to stop the violence. So it started with the volunteering, the marching, the sharing my son's story. Noticing that there was so many families out there, that the killings in Chicago was really serious, and that our families are seriously suffering.
It's the Chicago Survivors Table right here. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
So what we do is we respond to the Chicago homicides that occur here in the city.
Taking this job has been a very important part of my healing process. And I believe that helping others like myself at this capacity has helped me take a deeper look into my own grief and loss. How am I doing myself?
Yeah.
I'm not as angry as I used to be because I've accepted that my son has passed on. I do healthy things. I don't want to isolate. I don't want to shut down. I've been there, done that in the beginning phases of grieving. I shut down. I don't want to be bothered with people, those sleepless nights. I don't have to go through those things anymore because my son doesn't want to see me suffer. He doesn't want to see me go through that. He wants me to live my life. What sense does it make for me not to move on and do what I've always wanted to do and be successful at it? I started traveling. I learned how to ride a motorcycle, so those things are very beneficial to me because it gives me a sense of freedom. And I started to do those things that I've always wanted to do. As a crisis responder, as a caseworker, we get dispatched to the actual homicide. And once we get dispatched, we just speak to the detectives on the scene who direct us to the family members. So usually family goes to the crime scene because they want to see. You know, they're in disbelief, they're angry. You know, looking at someone's loved one on the ground just hurts your soul. You have to be tough, you have to be strong to be able to be there for someone else when they're really devastated. 9 times out of 10, we'll go to the morgue with them to identify their loved one. And that's one of the worst part of this job is having to ID your loved one at the morgue. And you can't touch them, you can't see them. All you're looking at is a computer screen.
Be honest in the comments. Could you do a job where you had to ID someone's loved one with them?
It reminded me of when it happened to me. We have someone at the job that we debrief with. It's very important that we don't drown in secondary trauma, hearing these stories over and over again. Because you can't take work home, but sometimes doing this work, it does come home with you. You can't help but think about the baby that was killed by his father. It's hard not to think about those things, like how could that happen? No one deserves to die in a violent way. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. We almost witnessed community violence again in this neighborhood. It was more than one person about to jump on this guy and commit a crime. This is horrible. And this lady's begging, please, please, stop. They almost had him, you saw that. Scared the shit out of me, oh my God. Oh, thank you, Lord, there's nothing happened in our presence. Come here. How's my baby doing? Put your foot down. Yeah. She loves her mommy. So this is my piece. This is where I come and sit back, take my shoes off, and sit down for a minute. I'm trying to move. This neighborhood has gotten really bad. A kid got shot last year across the street, and the bullet came in through my window. There goes the bullet hole. I thank God none of us were here watching TV. We were in the bedrooms. This was late at night. It could have been any of us sitting here on this couch. Hi! There go my grandbaby. Come here. That's Amir. Hi, my baby. Come here. Oh, my goodness. Where's my angel? This is my pride and joy right here. He loves his grandma. Right, Poppy? I love you so much. Eat all your food. Never get tired of bills, huh? I heard gunshots the other Friday. My grandson heard it, which hurt my soul. He's like, Grandma, my heart is beating. He's like, I heard gunshots. I said, no, baby, those were firecrackers. I didn't want him to know. He's just 5. The reality that there was shooting outside, and that's the truth. And he knows the truth. And that's a shame for a 5-year-old to say they were shooting.
So you had a school trip today, huh?
And it's so unfortunate that our children are out here witnessing a lot of these things, and they think this is normal. Are you done? You know, I've always lived in the neighborhoods where it was high crime, gang members, drug dealing, everywhere I went. It was normal to hear gunshots and everybody knows what to do. I lost my brother to gun violence too. He was killed by a friend back in the early 90s. And my mother suffered, man. My mom, she died because she could not get over my brother's death. I didn't know how to help her. Now I do. You know, it's different now. I'm educated now. I know more about the grieving process, the 5 stages of grief. And God, I wish I could have helped her then.
You on the bike today, huh? Girl. How are you? Yeah, give me some cold water.
How you been carrying this?
I'm trying to do the best I can, but you know, you do miss them, but you know, I can't do nothing but that's when I just, you know, deal with the other kids.
So you got 4 girls?
4 girls left, yeah. That was my only boy there.
And Lloyd is 5.
Yep.
Start journaling.
Yeah.
Because you can't talk to nobody. It's my turn now to get something out of this. You know, I can share my experience of what I've been through and how I get through it. And what are the things that I do to get by day by day.
Nice one.
I'll see you Tuesday. And get out this house. Go do something constructive. Hi.
What's up, my boy? How you doing?
So how's it been? How you been coping?
Nothing. One day at a time. One day at a time.
I know the weight is supposed to get better as time goes by.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I mean, you know, 15 years is a long time, but the feelings never go away. Know that it's okay not to be okay or to be in that funky place where we get to sometimes where we don't want to be bothered with people. We just want to be by ourselves. But if you don't process it, it will do something to you and it won't be healthy. You know, you have to find a way to cope and to live with this for the rest of your life. Today's Travell Washington's 1-year anniversary. My friend Zayn's son, who was shot and killed last year. My job is to go, be supportive, not only because she's a mother who lost her son, but she's also my friend, and I know her pain. This is gonna be a lot. I brought her 24 balloons, and I made her probably about 30, 40 buttons. So it'll be her first year getting through. I think that in celebration of their loved one, whether it's a birthday, anniversary, they need to do something. Even if it's light a candle or cleaning out their room, a picnic, a barbecue, cooking some food, having friends and family over, it means a lot. Hey, how you doing? Good? Yeah, how you doing? That does something to our families when they see someone else show up for support. Because they'll say, you know what, thank you. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for coming in when we really needed you at a tough time where I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to start. I didn't know how to finish. I didn't know what I'm going to do when everybody disappears. Brings me to tears because I know I've meant something to someone else just based off me showing up, being there.
Come on, y'all. Let's do this balloon release. Hold it. Gonna go on the line? Let's go.
Make me sad, man. We gotta hurry up and
I'm Mimi, Zane's I'm also a survivor, and this is a balloon release for Travell in his memory and all the good times. And those of you who know Travell and have a relationship with Travell, your love for him shows because you're here. So we are gonna release these balloons and you're gonna say something to Travell. So on the count of 3, we're gonna release the balloons. 1, 2, 3. Love you, Rest in heaven, baby.
Love, bro.
Let it go. Baby.
I love you. My son's spirit is still with us. I watched him take his first breath. He didn't even cry. And when he died, I kissed him. I said, he has a pulse. He's still living. He looked at me in his eyes, and he put his head down. I said, I love you, Travell. Don't forget that. Mommy loves you, and everybody else loves you.
We knew that.
So guess what? I got to see my son live 25 years being born, laid on my chest. And after 25 years, he died in my arms.
I told her it's gonna be okay. We're just gonna take it one day at a time. That is the process. So I just want to be there to let her know that she's not alone. So part of the group today, we want to talk about safety. Safety for ourselves. We want our families to know what to do just in case of emergency, just in case there's a shooting. If there is a shooting, have I really had this conversation with my family? A lot of times the perpetrator's not arrested. You're receiving threats or they're threatening their children.
I still be getting threats. I take it to the policeman and they like, you don't have enough evidence. But like I keep telling the police, y'all need to do y'all job, because if they don't do their job, eventually somebody's gonna come hurt down the line. The police never contact me. When I just lost my baby, 2017, the police ain't never contact me, still don't contact me. I call them every day, all day, since my baby been dead. They never calls me, never got a return call, none of that. It's just like, I just, basically with CPD, my hands up with them.
Sometimes our families don't believe in the justice system anymore because lack of faith. When you just want to go and solve your own loved one's murder and you know who did it, and the police can't do anything about it because they don't have enough evidence. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of homicide cases solved in Chicago.
I wouldn't stop. I wouldn't give up.
And our families want answers, and a lot of our families are still standing up, and they want justice for their loved one.
Be honest in the comments. How often are answers given when they're needed?
Andy would be 31. Yeah. He'd probably be here with his son, probably be working, he'd probably be a chef. These are all these things he was doing. And I wish that he was here, you know, but he would have been a very handsome, vibrant young man with a lot of potential. I want that opportunity to speak to my son's shooter. People don't think about their loved one's killer the way I'm thinking about it because they were friends. It's different when you have a relationship with that person. That's on a whole nother level. He turned himself in with a lawyer. He walked away with a second-degree murder charge in 15 years. And he said it was an accident. My heart wants to believe it's an accident. You know, I have all these questions that I want to ask him. Why didn't you write me a letter? You know, why didn't you say you were sorry? Why didn't you call? I want to know why. Is he really sorry? Or how could you do that to your friend? But what am I going to say? Am I still going to be angry when I see him? He's out of prison now.
Some white flowers.
But the reality is I might not ever get those answers. I want to forgive. I mean, I've forgiven so many things that happened to me, but I won't forget it. Because the truth is, my son is gone. He will never bring him back.
He'll never be forgotten, my son.
And then there's a lot to this story. I have a grandson that I haven't met yet. So that would be some closure for me. He had him when he was 15, 16 years old, and I didn't find out until after my son was killed. And his father told me, you have a grandson? I'm like, cool. And I just couldn't believe it until I saw his picture, which is very difficult. He looks just like my son. And that'll be closure for me because I have something of him. This hurt and love I have for my son will never go away. Never. You know, there's no target date, expiration date where it says, by this time you should stop grieving, you should not cry. I've made progress, and we call it post-traumatic growth, and we call it learning how to carry it, learning how to live with it.
We come to the race against gun violence for many different reasons. There are people here today from different parts of the city, different positions, different experiences, but tonight we walk and we run as one. Tonight we focus on what we share in common and not what drives us apart. There are so many voices to be heard.
I'm living for my son. I'm living for him and what I believe in. I'm living for myself, for my grandkids. I want my grandkids to say, damn, my grandma did a lot. She experienced this and she's a survivor. I'm grateful. Really, I have a whole lot of gratitude to be aware, to be alive, to help other people like myself.
This video raises questions, and I need for you to be extremely honest in the comments when answering them. And just so you know, I have 3 questions. Number 1, what do you think of when you hear someone say they don't believe in the justice system anymore? Number 2, who would you like for me to do a video on next? And number 3, what are your thoughts about this video? Please share them in the comments. Please be honest when answering these questions. Share this video with anyone you deem necessary. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel.